It all started with this. My good friend EpicLafiteau sprang this upon the group chat one day, saying after a lot of consideration he wanted to make his own OC to use for Sudgeon stories. With assistance from myself and CTFEologist, the world saw Larry for the first time in the episode Living Like Larry. I'm sure you all know Larry's story after that, but behind the scenes, my brain started whirring. What if I made my own OC? The last one I made was Wendell, and I never really had the chance to use him. So what if I started from scratch and do it my way? I tinkered around with a few ideas for what this new OC's basis could be. As Tales of Thomas and Sudgeon's stories take place in the same universe, I thought, what if this new character is a shunter at the next station over, Kildane, as it's a location that's rarely seen in the franchise. I wanted to pair him with Larry at some point, so the basis needed to be on an equal playing field, so the two could work together and not against each other. I originally landed on this design, an LSWR B4040, but another thought hit me. There are already so many steam engines on Sodor, and since our series is set in the early 70s, diesel engines were more common. So I opted to go for a diesel instead, but not before modelling the B4. I was at my wit's end. I couldn't find something unique or anything I liked for a basis. I'd almost given up until one day, I found this. A BRD2-1. This thing was massive compared to bigger engines like Gordon or Henry, but it was the right design I was looking for. So to compensate this, Basil's backstory involved him being the first prototype for the class, hence his small size.
He's a bit small for his class.
Flawed design. He was the prototype before they made adjustments. He's an honest lad, he just had a little bit of trouble adjusting now and then.
So now I've got the location, the basis, backstory and livery. The next question was the name. James had spitballed some ideas, but I didn't really vibe with any of them. So stuck in a rut, I decided to step back from Basil and work on other projects. At some point, James and I sat down and watched the Austin Power movies.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Basil.
The results are in. We've discovered trace elements of a rare vegetable found only on one island here in the Caribbean.
Then it hit me.
Basil.
What a name. It matches his green livery, it has a nice British feeling ring to it, and I knew it'd be perfect for the new character. So from that day on, he was dubbed as Basil. I finally got around to modelling the D2-1 in Blender, and before long, Basil was starting to take shape. I liked what I was seeing, but something felt off. It was just lacking something, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I was talking with my good friend Chase and we were discussing his OCs. Coincidentally, he had a character based on the Class 14 Diesel, the same class I made for the ERS adaptions. So for fun, I made a quick face, changed the livery, and sent a screenshot to Chase. Suddenly, James said something that changed everything.
Is that Basil's face? He's ready.
Say that again?
That was it! That one face change was the answer to my prayers! After that, we tinkered with the design a little bit more until we finally had the Basil we all know and love today. I wanted Basil to look and feel small, one of those underdog characters that's put down for their size but makes up for it in their heart and strength. He's no Tobias in reality, but he's a fairly strong character. Looking literally everywhere, there was no references for the BRD2-1. One of the class still exists today, however, number D2700, who lives at the Whitwell and Reepham Railway. Coincidentally, the same railway Larry's basis lives at. Yes, I'm 100% gonna go visit someday. While some CGI changes were made to the B2-1 to make it fit in the style of Thomas a little better, some liberties were taken, mainly the size of him. As mentioned previously, I wanted Basil to be small, but I couldn't achieve that if he's towering over every other shunter, so essentially I squished him down and didn't make him as tall. I also pinched the hazard stripes from the D2700 too. As Chase put it, it adds to the industrial look. His number, 207, is a reference to my birthday, July 20th. It was fun at the time, but now it kinda irks me as that's not how BR's numbering system should be. But he is on Sodor now, so we can let it slide. You may have noticed between episodes 12 and 13, Basil got updated rods. That's because before I took the easy route and just grabbed a pair of generic side rods, but since he has the counterweight flyball thing at the back, he would need another rod on top, kinda like Dennis and Norman. I knew right off the bat I wanted a custom theme for him, something that describes his character audibly. So straight away I made a beeline for my good friend ThomasSebyMG to compose the theme for Basil. Sebi absolutely kills it with their music and nails the CGI style. I asked him for something similar to Philip's theme, but not super repetitive, but still has that childlike wonder to it. And of course, they nailed it on the first try. And that's essentially all the thought put into Basil. He was pretty straightforward. I may update him again in the future to match his design a little bit more, but right now, I'm more than happy with how he turned out. Basil was built by the North British Locomotive Company in 1952. Being the prototype design, he was a lot smaller than the final product. Due to his size, he didn't have the hauling capabilities or speed the later designs of his class had, thus suffered greatly with running trains. In 1956, when the last of his designs were made, Basil was sold off to a small goods yard somewhere in the UK. As the deals were made under the table, no official documents were saved, and most confirmation of his working life is left to speculation. Basil worked in this yard for a good number of years, until he suffered a bad engine failure, causing him to be out of commission for several months. A yard manager by the name of Bill Arrow was in need of a shunter to work in the yard at Barrow and Furness, and in 1976, purchased Basil and had his engine rebuilt. Basil was now faster, stronger, and more capable than ever before, even better than his later built class. Basil got on well with the smaller yard. He became good friends with the Mainland engines and soon heard many tales of the mystical island of Sodor. Then in one day in 1978, the controller of the Northwestern, Sir Topham Hatt, asked Basil to come help in his new electrification project. After a few hiccups, Basil and his new friends at the Sodor Power Company soon completed the project and has been a valuable asset to Sir Topham Hatt ever since. There's not much more I can say about Basil without spoiling too much, as his journey is only just beginning. He holds a very special place in my heart. My first proper OC I was able to do something with and flesh him out more as a character. Those who have been around long enough may remember Wendell, another character of mine. I made the mistake of getting too far ahead of myself and I never had the chance to give him a proper introduction before throwing him into videos or sharing him out to other creators, so his history is really wobbly. He has a fully written backstory and series surrounding him, but for the time being it just sits on my hard drive. I'm not sure if I'd ever go back to it, but it's just there in case. But with Basil, I'm glad I was able to take the time and flesh him out properly, coming up with his backstory and debut first before jumping the gun. There is plenty more Basil content on the way, as I've said, his story is only just beginning. And that's Basil, folks. I'm sorry if it was shorter than you were expecting, but I've wanted to make a Mainland's models on him for a long time now. I was planning to do it after the Basil saga, but I felt it was right to spotlight him for the 50k special. Which, as well, thank you all so much for 50,000 subscribers. It's absolutely insane that we hit that milestone. I've been creating content for nearly 13 years now, and I never thought we'd get this far. Thank you all for your amazing comments and interactions with videos. It means the world to me. But I couldn't do this on my own, so I have to give a massive thank you to James, Chase and Griffin, who have been by my side for the past couple of years, helping me improve my content. I love these guys to bits, so please go check them out. James recently hit 25,000 subs on his channel, so if you're not already, go subscribe and give him a big congratulations. It baffles me that James and I work in tandem with our content, yet there's such a big gap in numbers. I highly recommend watching Tales of Thomas's sister series, Sudgin Stories. Both series share the same universe and model, so it's pretty much like getting double the content you'd see here. Links to everyone's pages are in the description below, and I hope to see you all for the 80th anniversary. We might have a few things planned.